Number 12, write 15 over 25 as a percentage. Well, remember, percent simply means out of 100. That's all percent means. So we want 15 out of 25. We would love for the bottom of this number to be out of 100. So how can we write it out of 100? Well, if you simply times this by 4, like 4 quarters, 4 times 25 will give you 100. So in order to keep it the same, you must multiply the top by 4. So 4 times 15 will give you 60. So remember, 60 out of 100 is 60%. And that is the answer in C. So this one worked out nicely because the bottom was out of 25 and it was real easy to make it out of 100. The next one here says, which is equivalent to 20%? So remember, 20%, percent simply means out of 100. So 20% would be 20 out of 100. And of course you know that 2 out of 10 is really the same thing as 20 out of 100. Okay? So we're going to look to reduce this, and it's going to reduce to one of these 4 problems. So let's take 20 out of 100. Let's see if we can reduce 20 out of 100 a little lower. Well, if we divide 20 by itself, so if we divide 20 by 20, we're going to get 1. If we divide 100 by 20, we're going to get 5. So 20 over 100 will reduce to the lowest to 1 out of 5. And there's our answer right there. Now we could have done the same thing with 2 out of 10. We could have just divided this by 2 and divide this by 2, and it would have worked the same way. Number 14, which percentage of the diagram below is shaded? So don't forget, percent means out of 100. So let's count up how many we have shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we have 14 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Now if only that was not out of 25, but it was out of 100, then we could easily change that to a percent. Well, that's easy to do. All you have to do is multiply that 25 by 4, like 4 quarters, gives you 100. So times that by 4. So what's 14 times 4? I can do that on the side here. 4 times 4 is 16. So carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. And that would be 56 out of 100, which you know is 56%. Right from grade 6, you learned how to do that one. And there's the answer there. For number 15, 30% of 72. Well, you learned that 30% really means 30 over 100. And to change that to a decimal, since we're dealing with hundredths, okay, that's 2 decimal places, or 2 places after the decimal. So we've got 0 and 30 hundredths. So there's our decimal. Now we want 30% of 72. Now, right away, you know that 50% is half. Now what's half of 72? Well, roughly you're going to look maybe about 30, 35 will be half of it. So we know we're going to be less than 35. So which ones are less than 35? Well, all of them in this case. But this is a little bit less than half. So we're going to be maybe 15. So we're about a quarter of it. So about 15. Now these two don't make sense because they're not even close to being 30% of 72. So let's work it out. We want 72 and we want 30% of it. So let's go decimal 30 times 72. We're going to ignore the decimal right now. And we're going 0 times 2. Well, that's going to give you 0. 0 times 7 is going to give you 0. So that was not much point. So you could have just started by adding a 0. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 7 is 21. We add that up, and it's the same thing. How many decimal places do we have in our problem? 2. So how many should we have in the solution? 2. And there's our answer, 21 decimal 60.